Okay, not gonna lie, developing this lemon cake recipe literally kept me up at night, but oh my god, it was so worth it. It is so soft, so fluffy, and is by far my favorite lemon cake to date. So to start off, you want to preheat your oven to 160°C or 320°F with the fan on, and grease or line 2 8-inch cake tins. I'm using my homemade cake release today, and I'm using 8-inch cake tins which are 3 inches high. Set these aside, and in another bowl we're going to sift together our dry ingredients. So I've got 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 3 tablespoons of corn flour, also known as cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and half a teaspoon of salt. And then using a whisk, just mix that together until well combined. You can also use cake flour in replacement of the all-purpose flour and cornstarch. Okay, we're going to set that aside, and then in another bowl we're going to combine together 6 tablespoons or 86 grams of unsalted butter, 3/4 cup of unflavoured vegetable oil, 1 2/3 cup of sugar, and the zest of 2 lemons. And make sure that you're only grating the very top yellow parts of the lemon, because if you go down right to the white part is bitter, so we don't want that in our cake. And make sure that you also get all that good stuff on the back of your grater as well. And then using a hand or stand mixer, cream that together on a medium speed for about 3 minutes until it's light and fluffy. Once that's done, you want to add in 2 eggs one by one, mixing well in between each egg. What we're doing here is creating an emulsion, so we just want to do this nice and slowly. Okay, this is looking good and smelling amazing. And then the next thing you want to do is add in 2 tablespoons of milk, 3/4 cup of regular yogurt, and 1/4 cup of fresh lemon juice. And then just mix that together until it's well combined. And then the last thing to do is to add in our pre-sifted dry ingredients and then gently fold that through using a spatula until just combined. You don't want to overmix this, so just fold in until all the flour disappears and you don't have kind of big lumps anymore. Okay, that is looking good, and now the last thing to do is to distribute the batter evenly into our 2 pre-prepared cake tins. And then just give them a light tap to get rid of any large air bubbles. And now these are going to go into the oven for 30 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean. So my cakes are out of the oven now. They have the most incredible smell. And now I'm just running a thin knife around the edges to release the cake from the cake tins, and then just turning them out onto a wire rack to completely cool. These cakes are so incredibly soft. I am so excited for you guys to try this recipe. Okay, so while our cakes are cooling, we are going to be making the most delicious lemon curd, which is probably my favorite part of this entire cake. It is so easy to make, and this version has no eggs, so you just want to add a tablespoon of lemon zest to a saucepan, along with 3/4 cup of fresh lemon juice, 3/4 cup of white sugar, 1/4 cup of cornstarch, 3/4 cup of milk, and half a teaspoon of vanilla. And then give that a little stir until it's well combined, and then place your saucepan over a medium heat and continue to stir until it thickens up in consistency like this. Now once that's nicely thickened up, take your saucepan off the heat and stir in half a cup or 113 grams of unsalted butter, and then just keep stirring until the butter is completely melted and your mixture is nice and smooth. Now you can strain your lemon curd if you want to get rid of the zest, but I'm going to leave mine just like that. And then to finish off, I'm just adding in a teeny tiny drop of yellow food color just to give it a bit more color. And this is optional as well, but you can also use a pinch of turmeric instead if you prefer. And then you basically just want to let this cool. So I'm pouring mine into a heat-proof bowl, and then I'm covering it with some cling wrap so that the cling wrap is touching the top of the curd, and this will just prevent a skin from forming as it cools. Okay, now while this is cooling, let's go ahead and make the most delicious and super easy cream cheese frosting. So start off by creaming together 1 cup or 225 grams of unsalted butter until it's light and fluffy. If you're using a stand mixer, then you want to do this with the paddle attachment. Next, you want to add in 4.5 cups of icing sugar in 3 batches while mixing on a low speed. So you want to make sure your mixer's on a low speed, because otherwise your icing sugar's just going to fly everywhere. And you also want to make sure each batch of icing sugar is mixed in well before you add in the next batch. Okay, once that's done, finish off by adding 1.5 cups of cold cream cheese. Make sure you're using the firm block type, not the spreadable type. 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla and 1.5 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. And then just mix that together until just combined and everything is nice and smooth. Avoid overmixing because the more you mix, the softer your frosting is going to become. And that is literally it. Our crazy delicious cream cheese frosting is all done. Okay, so now that all our elements are ready, let's stack this cake. So I'm starting off by placing my first cake layer onto my cake stand and spreading out a thin layer of frosting using my offset spatula. Now, because we have a filling, I'm going to pipe a dam around the edge using a 1M piping tip to prevent our filling from seeping out the sides of our cake. Next, I'm going to fill the middle with our delicious lemon curd, and you can see that it's thickened up quite a bit now that it's cool. Once that's done, our next cake layer goes on top. And then I'm just spreading out a thin layer of frosting all around the cake. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really tired at the moment, so although my cakes are a little crumbly, I'm not going to do a crumb coat or anything, but you guys can go ahead and decorate this cake however you like. As I'm doing this, I'm trying to be super neat so that I don't get too many crumbs on the outside. Now, I'm just gonna clean up the sides a little with my cake scraper. And then I'm just filling in any more gaps. It's actually not that bad given I didn't do a crumb coat. And then I'm just using my offset spatula to clean up the tops. Okay, it's not looking too bad, and now I'm just going to finish off the top by piping a spiral border around the edges using a 1M tip, and then I'm just going to fill the middle with more lemon curd. And that is it. My cute lemon cake is all done. This cake is honestly so incredibly delicious. Definitely in my top 5. From the soft lemon cake to the zesty lemon curd, topped with that cream cheese frosting, it all goes together so well. Oh my god, so good. The cake is so soft, and the lemon curd, oh my gosh. If you're a lemon cake fan, then you have to make this cake. It's too good. If you try out this recipe, don't forget to leave a review on my blog. It really helps my content reach more people, and I love hearing from you guys. I'll see you in the next video.